Hello, this is Raymond Aaron. You likely know me. I'm a New York Times top 10 bestselling author. I've written 147 books and they've all been published. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. A lot of my clients were quite disturbed or at least confused by the Oscars, where Will Smith got out of his chair, walked onto stage unexpected, and slapped Chris Rock on the face. And a lot of my clients are asking me for guidance. And so I'm creating this brief video to give you some guidance of how it happened and what to do about it for you. So I want to go back to CNN. CNN reports bad news for only one reason, and that is bad news is more entertaining, more exciting, or at least that's the experience. It allures people, it draws people in, and the more people who watch CNN, the more they can sell their television commercials for. And so they report bad news, but not just bad news. Every Monday, for example, CNN reports how many mass shootings there were that weekend in the United States. And a mass shooting is defined as 3 people killed or severely wounded by one gunman. That's horrible. It's horrible even to think about that. Never mind to have it reported every Monday, and never mind the fact that it's not just occasionally 0 or 1, it's like 6 or 9 every Monday. Well, when you hear that, your aversion to violence can sometimes creep down. You say, well, for gosh sakes, all that violence is going on. It's as if it becomes normal. And that's the problem. Not only that, there's a war in Ukraine where the Russians are dropping bombs and shooting missiles and killing people, not combatants, which is, quote, normal in a war, but civilians, which is not normal anywhere. So if you hear about all these shootings and you hear about the war going on and you hear about the Me Too movement, where women are revealing how men have mistreated them violently and sexually, and you hear about the Black Lives Matter movement, where Blacks are saying, hey, you have mistreated us for hundreds of years, killed us and tortured us, and not allowed us to vote, not allowed us to marry. There's so much horror. It is so much horror that you might tend to lower your standards. And I think that's what happened. The Oscars have always been nicey nice. They're nicey, nicey nice. All the gorgeous, beautiful stars and starlets come in their most beautiful gowns and their elegant tuxedos, and they walk elegantly up the red carpet, and they're interviewed by eager interviewers, and they sit nicely in their chairs, and some of them win Oscars, and they say really nice speeches. It's always nicey, nicey nice. And all of a sudden, Will Smith slugs the MC. Now, did he have a reason? Maybe, maybe not. Was he so offended that his dear wife, who has an illness and that's why she lost her hair, did he want to protect her? Was he being chivalrous? Yeah, that could be good. Was his wife insulted or embarrassed or upset? Yeah, she probably was. Did Will Smith overreact, or was he legitimately defending his wife's honor? Well, that's for you to decide. But notice that there's now violence entering the Oscars. Where will it happen next? Because there will be likely no consequence. Will Chris Rock call the police and have Will Smith charged with assault? Probably not. Will Chris Rock launch a lawsuit and sue Will Smith for $1 million for defamation of character or something like that, or embarrassing him in front of 10 million viewers? Probably not. And so the bar has been lowered. The bar has been lowered. And that means that a father watching his little kid in a kid's hockey game or football game or soccer game or basketball game, if he doesn't like the ruling of a referee or he doesn't like a decision of a coach, is he allowed to come out of the stands and slug the coach or the referee? His possible explanation would be, well, Will Smith was able to do it, so can I. And Will Smith didn't have any consequences, and so I expect I shouldn't have either. You see, it's not just one guy, Will Smith, albeit very famous, slugging somebody or slapping somebody. It's rather an indication that the violence in the world is creeping into places where it's never been before. And so here's the conclusion of what I have to say to you. Whether Will Smith was right or wrong, I don't want to even make a decision on that, because that was one incident. It doesn't really matter in the big scheme of things. But what does matter is this. What matters is how you will take it. Will you lower your standards of violence and think it's okay to get into a fight in a bar or slug a coach at a kid's game or slug the person beside you in the stands if they like the other team and so you don't want the other team to win and so you punch them? Like, are you going to lower your standards? That's the issue. It's not whether Russia is right or wrong. And I don't want you to feel bad about what I just said. I'm just saying that the war is going on. You may not be able to do much about it. And Will Smith did slap Chris Rock. You can't do anything about that because it already happened. What can you take from it? What can you do? How can you make this a valuable lesson for the world? And that is, stop thinking of the world. You do your part. Raise your standard. Maybe stop listening to the news on Monday or stop listening to CNN completely. I'm one of the wealthiest people in the world who doesn't have a television. I've stopped watching the news maybe 3 decades ago. I've stopped. And what I do is I read powerful books like Think and Grow Rich. Read the Bible, read the Quran, read the Book of Mormon. Whatever your religion is, read the sacred text of your religion. Think of Gandhi, who brought 1 billion Indians out from under British rule with no violence. Think of Nelson Mandela. Think of Martin Luther King Jr. Hold them up. Hold those non-violent leaders up as your heroes. Think about them. Read good books. Turn off the news. Do your part to stop this encroaching of violence. It's too much. The world can't handle this. I can't handle it. I moved way out into the country, into a gorgeous log cabin. You can see it in the background, in order to flee the chaos of the cities. And I still teach. I still love my clients. I'm still happy to be alive. But I'm asking you to be with me in doing something to stop all this. And you don't have to launch a big $1 million nonprofit foundation. You just have to do it yourself. Watch less news. Think good thoughts. Read good books. Read the sacred texts of your religion. Meditate. Sit in a hot tub. Whatever it is that you need to do, raise your standards related to violence and raise your soul and think pure thoughts. That's what I do. And how do I know that'll work? Because if every single one of the 8 billion people in the world, and that includes Putin and Will Smith, if every one of those thought pure thoughts and happy thoughts and didn't get upset and didn't get jealous and didn't get violent and didn't hurt others, the world would be a world of peace. Please join me in acting locally to create a global change. Thank you.